Mont Marte here again. Today we are going to be painting a fantastic triptych of the 3 phases of the butterfly. And we're going to be painting it in acrylics, so let's get into it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to cut the face of the plastic off. Being very careful not to cut the canvas, obviously. This will just keep the panels together to make it easier for us to draw up the image. To draw up our image now, I recommend using the Mont Marte drawing set pencils for this. Now we've supplied a PDF with the 3 images on for you to trace, draw up, grid up, whatever you like to do. I'm going to draw it directly onto the canvas. Okay, so a quarter of the way down, and I'm going to start with my branch across all 3 panels. Once we have our images drawn up, it's time to add the paint. And what we're going to do is add some black paint all around here, around the key line, and then we're going to paint over it so you'll see the black under the paint. For our underpainting step, we're going to use the acrylic brush set. This has a great range of brushes. We're going to use some black acrylic paint and a little bit of acrylic medium, and we're going to use a deep well plastic palette. So let's get into it. To 5 parts lamp black, add 2 parts acrylic medium. This will make the paint work better. Try and keep the lines free flowing. The chrysalis now. Vary the line thickness to add interest. Onto our butterfly now, and I'm using the small round here for the fine work. Dip your brush in a little water to keep the paint flowing nicely. That's our black underpainting done. Now we have to separate the canvases and paint them individually to make it easier. It's time to move on to the individual panels now, and this first panel we're going to lay over some scarlet. To 10 parts scarlet, add 4 parts acrylic flat medium. And just slap it on with your 75mm Taklon brush. I'm using crisscross type strokes to build up texture and tone. Go over the black key lines as well. Don't forget to paint the sides. Just painting on my orange now. Wow, look how vibrant that looks. Doing our yellow background now. Let's mix up a darker red for the top coat now. To 4 parts scarlet, add 1 part light green. Just keep going, building up the texture until you're happy. Don't overdo it. Let's create a darker tone for the orange. To 5 parts orange, add 2 parts scarlet. Now scumble this on like on the first panel. Remember not to load too much paint onto the canvas. Just drag it along the paint dry. You can see it only touches the top part of the weave. That's what we want. Our yellow panel gets the treatment now with straight cadmium yellow. Now for the fun part, the top coat. Onto our red, we're going to paint our caterpillar green. I'm going to be using Mont Marte tear-off paper palette for this. So let's put our paint on. Green and red really like each other. Well, that's our caterpillar done. You'll notice it's a little bit darker here. I've just put the paint on a little bit thinner so you can see the red background through. Now we're going to paint some umber on the tree branch. apply this thickly to suggest bark. Onto our chrysalis now, and we're going to paint it purple. So just lay on your purple, and doesn't that look fantastic against the orange? We're also going to do a really interesting effect on top of this. But just stay tuned and keep watching. I'm just reapplying another black key line to the chrysalis. Now onto our butterfly. And we're going to paint our butterfly blue. Two shades of blue, a cerulean and an ultramarine. Doesn't that look fantastic? I'm using the angled brush for the body here. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of black on and this will all tie it together. A bit more umber. Okay, now we're going to do a bit of a special treatment on our chrysalis, and that's just a little bit of dry brushing. It's called a scumble. So we're going to do that with silver, so let's get this paint on. So the trick here is not to put too much on and just work it up slowly. So you can see the paint's only touching the high parts of the canvas. Put a little bit on the empty chrysalis as well. And on the eyes. Okay, well that's the last panel done. Let's lay them up and see how they look together. Well, there you have it, our butterfly triptych. Try it out, and until next time, keep on painting.